Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 AM Club. And here I am in the city, I'm at Darling Harbour, and delivering yet another episode. I'm cranking through these one at a time, and I'm well on my way of getting to the 1,000 vlogs in English by my 61st birthday, God willing. It's Sunday today, it's Mother's Day. It's a day where we get to reflect and with gratitude to the fact that we came into this world and we were blessed with a beautiful, nurturing, caring mother. My mother unfortunately has passed away. She passed away quite young. She was 63 years of age, very, very young indeed, only a couple of years older than what I am at the moment, but far too young. But I do remember her fondly, and I do pray for her, and I have her candle lit, her vigil lamp lit at home, and it's still carrying the Paschal Holy Light, which I received last week, and I'll try and keep burning for a year at least. The longest I've ever had the Paschal light stay alight for is about 10 months. But this year I'll just try and do whatever I can to keep it going in memory of my mother, my father, and all of the good people who have gone before us. Before I get on to today's book summary, I just want to just share with you a situation which just unfolded a little while ago. I was up there on George Street doing a vlog, and the book summary that I was vlogging on was called The Energy Bus by Jon Gordon. And when I was about 3/4 of the way through my vlog and I was videoing the trams or the light rail going up and down the road, this fellow was walking up the street and took offence at me filming. And he thought that I was filming him, and he basically told me that I wasn't allowed to film without his permission, which I challenged him and told him that in a public place I can film whatever I want because it's a public place. I don't need anybody's permission. But he insisted, and it got quite aggravated and quite heated. So he interrupted my thought, interrupted my vlog. So I had to cut it short and then sit down there and chat with him and sort it out, so to speak. But every now and then, thank God it hasn't happened all that often, but over the 920 vlogs that I've done so far, I've only had a couple of hecklers. But you learn to live with it and not to worry about it. But it is something that happens, and it's one of the risks that vloggers tend to face, because you do get people who have issues and are quite sensitive at being filmed. And I guess after chatting to this fellow for a while, he did sound like he was educated, he was smart, but he possibly could have been lonely and had some unresolved issues that I couldn't help him with. But there you go. I promised him that I wouldn't post that vlog because I did get a bit heated, and he got heated with me, and we did say things which weren't all that resourceful. But that's life. You know, I'm human, and just like he's human. So let's see if we can do version 2 of The Energy Bus and see where it takes us. Anyway, the author kicks off this book with a quote, and he says basically that positive energy is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the stronger it gets, the more powerful you become. The more you focus on positive energy, the more it becomes your natural state. So just before, I was trying to emanate and talk about positive energy, and I got confronted by somebody who had a significant amount of negative energy, and the two came together quite abruptly and energetically, but we did finish on a good accord, is the best way I can describe it. I had no issue with him, and I hope that he doesn't have an issue with me. So what I'll do now is I'll just point the camera to me rather than point it away, so that people don't think that I'm videoing them, so we don't have any more issues. Anyway, so let's find out what this book's all about. So this book is about figuring out how to generate, how to manage, and how to project a positive vibe, and a positive vibe that is contagious and brings out the best not only in you, but the people around us. So the author here talks about a formula called the E plus P equals O formula, where we take control of our lives. So E equals energy, P equals perception, and O equals outcome. So what the author is sort of telling us is that if you can manage your energy levels, if you can manage your perceptions, then those two together, while working in synergy, will be able to deliver some great outcomes, not only to you, but to those around you. And in the book, the author mentioned that, I forget which country it was, I forget which language it was, but in some countries, and I think it could be Bhutan, I'm not sure. As I say, I read this book a few days ago, so I didn't note down which country or which language this term was, but there's a term called amorphati, which means that we have a love of our fate, no matter what it brings. So to love our fate, to love our outcomes, regardless of what it brings. And some people's fate will lead them in a positive direction, others will lead them in a negative direction, and some people will basically be directionless. But that saying, that wording, basically suggests that regardless of what we do and where it leads us, to embrace it, because that's our fate, that's our life, and whilst we can't control everything, our fate is our fate. So the author then goes on to talk about something else which is really interesting and really important, and suggests that it's a way of syntax, just the way we understand how things work. And he says here that a different life doesn't necessarily happen to you. Remember, difference doesn't happen to you. Difference happens for you. So the life that we have doesn't happen in spite of us. It happens for us. We are not different from each other. The best way of looking at it is that we're different for each other. So that perception, that way of seeing the world, is something which is a little bit more serving and more powerful. So once again, the author goes on to talk about the stuff that we talk about all the time, that you can't control everything that happens to us, but you can control what you believe about what happens. So the perception, the interpretation, the meaning that we place on things, the story that we replay to ourselves, we can control the story. We can control the interpretation. There's more than one way to interpret what happens. You can interpret things in a positive light, or you can interpret it in a negative light. But the key message from this book is to try and live with gratitude and to see things from a positive light, because if you don't see it from a positive light, then you're going to have many challenges in your life. The other thing that the author talks about, and it's around about this point that I got confronted by the fellow up there on George Street. I was talking about this point, and I think maybe he overheard what I was saying, and he took offence to it for some reason. Which anyway, I'll try it again and see if I can get through it without having anybody come and want to cross swords with me. He says that humans can sense enthusiasm from a distance, and it's what actually gets people to join your energy bus. So if you have a positive vibe, if you have strong, healthy energy and are enthusiastic, then that's the sort of thing that gets people wanting to connect with you and wanting to join your bus. Because the word enthusiasm comes from a Greek word. What else would it come from? It comes from a Greek word called entheos. Entheos. And entheos means to be filled with the divine. So what we're saying here, this is a very, very important point, that people who are positive, people who are energized, people who are optimistic and live in hope are people who are filled with the divine. No, you're one with God, because God is love, God is hope, God is positive energy, God is all of those good things in the world, as opposed to the other one who is all about negativity, pain, suffering, and all the other stuff that which is the opposite. And I guess this is the point the other guy got the shits with. And what we're saying here is that each and every one of us is the CEO of our own lives. And when you hear CEO, most people would think that we're talking about the chief executive officer. But this author says, no, it's not about being the chief executive officer, it's about being the chief energy officer. So what's really, really important for each and every one of us is to manage our energy levels and our energy output, because what we generate can influence significantly ourselves and those around us. Because it's up to us, it's up to each and every one of us, according to the author, to spread our positive energy to as many people as possible. And this is where I was going hammer and tong and we were swearing at each other. And the bottom line is enthusiasm is contagious. It's a positive thing, and once you sense enthusiasm, once you sense positivity, then it's something that is contagious and you can pass it on and it can fill the room. I've got lots of friends who are enthusiastic, and wherever they go, you can just sense their presence. They just fill the room, they're funny, and they just lift the spirits of all of those around them. So scientists have been able to find out, or have been able to measure, that people have an energy field that surrounds them, a type of aura, you could kind of suggest, and it can be felt or sensed by up to 10 feet away. Interesting. You know, there is equipment out there that can measure and that can see the aura and the energy field that people project. And by the same token, you can project positive energy, but you can also project shitty, negative, bad energy. And it probably goes even further than the 10 feet. But scientifically, people are able to show that you can spread your good vibe. And a big word from the 60s was, you know, the vibe, you know, the good vibe, have positive vibes, vibes. And this is what vibes are all about. That's that energy that you're able to push out and pass on. So what else can we learn from this wonderful book summary? The author then goes on, the third formal point to come out of this book is that we need to love people. Make time to listen, recognize them as individuals, and appreciate their accomplishments. I must admit that after I ripped into the other guy and he ripped into me, we did sit down and talk like adults, and I did explain to him what I was doing, why I was doing it. I actually even showed him Jim's 5 a.m. Club on YouTube and invited him to subscribe to my channel. As what I do it with all good intentions. I don't do it to big note myself. All I am is an emissary of positivity, hopefully, of knowledge, of wisdom, and of OPE, other people's experience, other people's energy. So the final points to come out of this book summary entitled Energy Bus is that we all have a deep-seated need to be appreciated, and love does it. You, I, and that fellow that I had an altercation with, we all have a need, a deep-seated need to be appreciated and loved. So the author tells us 3 things that we should try and incorporate into our lifestyle and our way of thinking. Whenever you meet people, meet them one-on-one and make time to listen to the conversation, and spend less time talking and more time listening and absorbing what their story is. The author also talks about the importance of practicing empathy, because we're all just humans and we all have just a slither of the truth. The other fella who I chatted with before was from Arnhem Land. It's a place that I'd love to go to, and I did express to him that I have worked with a number of people of Indigenous background and I get on with them. I respect them and I appreciate their contribution, and I have no issue with colour, with race, and with all of those sorts of things. And the third point to come out of this book is that we need to recognise individual achievements and to highlight each other's contributions, because everybody has something special, something unique, a unique gift that is God-given, that they're able to pass on to the world and to pass on to their families and friends, and to whoever has the gift and the glory of being able to connect and be part of their world. So I think I'll leave it there. It's getting dark. It's Sunday evening, approaching Sunday evening. And I thank you for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club, where the sun has gone down. It's getting darker. People are out and about. So for my friends in Greece and people from all over the world, Sydney is getting back to normal. I did have to wear a mask on the bus today, and I did need to wear one when I went to Uniqlo to get Paula a down jacket for Mother's Day. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable. And to my friend who I chatted to earlier, as I said, I promise I will not post that vlog where you and I were at our least productive, but I'm posting this one here where I've had a chance to get through it without having my thought interrupted. And it wasn't your fault. You were just expressing your right, and we all have a right to our opinions and to respect each other's sensitivities. So I apologise for saying whatever I said to you, and hopefully we can be friends, at least on YouTube. So I look forward to coming to you again. Let's live, learn and pass it on. And as I said, I'm an emissary of knowledge, wisdom, which I get from the book summaries that I read. And as I said, this is all stuff which is public knowledge. It's out there in the public space that anybody can read, anybody can interpret, and anybody can pass it on. So let's help each other get through the morning, get through the night, get through the day, Let's be the wind beneath our wings, the wave beneath our board, the zephyr that flutters our sails, and the propeller that pushes our boat and directs our craft in the direction where we want to head. So take care, everybody. Yassas from Jim's 5 AM Club, and this is my second for the day. I did wish to get about 5 out, but I got interrupted before and I'm running out of batteries, so I think I'll have to just push over the next couple of weeks. I will be going away to the Hunter Valley in a week or two, and I'll be able to get an opportunity to pump through 10 or 20 vlogs during that time, hopefully. So yassas, filakia, que taleme. Bye for now. Happy Mother's Day, que Christos Anesti to everybody. Cheers.